clips were low. All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. America First Warehouse, Long Island, New York. Welcome on, everybody. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Welcome on in to another busy Friday night. When I say the gang is all here, the gang is all here. Slick's going to have sports. Vinnie Mac's here with the news. Rick Delgado's got the news. Paul Nolan's got some news. Harry on the highway sitting in here with us on the news set at the America First Warehouse as we get ready for May 2nd. And, of course, you, our beloved Live from Studio 6B audience, will have the ability to start coming here on a Friday night. And it's going to get wild. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
Are you ready for Friday nights here live at the America First
Friday
Warehouse?
night, we're just down the pizza. We're ready to roll.
That is true. That is true. Vinnie Mac, how are you?
I'm doing great, too. I had, hair, makeup, got the Botox done. I'm feeling like I'm all in prep mode here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Very good. Mr. Nolan, how are you?
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How was your day? I love that background you got there, boy. That's looking good.
Pretty cool. That's it.
I'm starting to look a little bit like a villain from Yellowstone over here.
You need to put that cowboy hat back on.
Yeah, I had a good day, though. Good, hard-working day. With my hands, I dug fence posts and we put in a beautiful. And then I rustled some cows and doggies and
nice.
Yeah.
And what's that? Manual labor? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a good day. It doesn't sound like a good day at all. All right, very good. Paul's gonna have some news. Mr. Delgato, how are you?
I am good.
Now, you said it was a busy news day.
It was a busy news day. You don't think so? I was finding stuff all over. I found myself planted in front of my computer for like 2 hours, just filing through stuff.
Really?
Yeah, there was just a lot going on. There were some clips that I sent, unfortunately, weren't available for Aaron to pull. One was Stephen Miller, which we love the Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
That clip wasn't available, but let's face it, there's a lot happening on a busy Friday, so it'll be fun.
We'll have it all in the news headlines, of course. Harry on the highway sitting up here on the stage. Harry on the highway, welcome to the America's First Warehouse and our new set. What do you think?
I love it. It's beautiful. This is great. Joe DeBox and the team did just an amazing job.
Martin and the team have done an incredible job. You see where the audience is going to be here all around us.
Beautiful.
They're looking good, feeling good, looking good. So, Harry, how are you?
I'm good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, considering 4 weeks ago. I feel great.
Yeah. I don't even know if everybody knows because we haven't really fully talked about it on the show.
Fully transitioned.
Because
I did.
It's really starting to come together there.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad.
Is it Harriet?
Harry
It's Harriet now.
Yes, exactly. No, well, Harry was going for hernia surgery the last time we reported.
Yeah.
And Harry will be forever thankful for that hernia surgery because part of the hernia surgery was going to see a cardiologist to get cleared. And when he went to get cleared, the cardiologist said, I don't think so. I don't see something I don't like. And about 3 days later, Harry had quadruple bypass, probably saved his life. So
It did. It saved my life. The team over at St. Francis Hospital saved my life. I had no idea. They said I've been walking around with, 3 clogged valves at 97%. And had a couple of heart attacks, too, and had absolutely no clue.
I knew he was going to be okay because I went to visit him at the hospital and he knew every nurse's name.
Yeah. I did.
He's like, you mean that's Carol at the other side? Yeah,
there's Michelle.
Mary, Michelle is there, and then Ben. But I'm not going to say anything about that.
That's not saying anything about Ben.
Come fluff my pillow, Ben.
Harumph.
Those aren't pillows.
What was his last name? I have a feeling I know what it was. Somewhere in Maryland, right?
Thank God for that hernia, huh, Harry?
Yeah. Thank God for that hernia, because I still got to go for that operation, but thank God. Everything is good. It's been 4 weeks today, and everything's healing well, and I feel good. It's still, got another month of therapy, but we'll be good.
You look great, man.
I feel great.
It's great to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
You look great, Harry. You sound great, and man, thank God for that because
thank God. Yeah.
And watching him chow down those 3 slices of pizza was impressive.
Two.
With pepperoni.
No pepperoni. It's Good Friday.
Good Friday, that's right.
No pepperoni.
That's it.
It is Good Friday, and that's. I thought we'd start tonight with some thoughts on Good Friday because obviously, Good Friday invites reflection on Jesus Christ and His sacrifice at Calvary and the sacrifices that have shaped America's unique identity, as reflected in its founding documents and uncensored history. For Christians, Good Friday marks the pivotal moment in history. Christ, the Savior born at Christmas, fulfilled God's redemptive plan through His crucifixion and resurrection. This tragic yet triumphant event overcame sin and death, offering humanity the good news of salvation. You look in the world today, some reject Christ's message, placing faith in unproven theories like the Big Bang or spontaneous life from some inanimate matter, dismissing an intelligent design. As C.S. Lewis noted, such beliefs require greater leaps of faith than Christianity itself. Yet they lack empirical grounding. Modern ideologies, critical race theory, gender theory, and others mirror this pattern, demanding conformity while stifling dissent. This new woke orthodoxy, cloaked in justice, often contradicts the First Amendment's protections of free speech and religion, promoting division over unity. Critics label Christian nationalism a threat, yet America's covenantal roots are undeniable. The Declaration of Independence, grounded in its belief that all are created equal by God, echoes the principles of Good Friday: justice, grace, and liberty. Figures like Harriet Tubman and Martin Luther King Jr. drew on this faith to advance equality. Denying this heritage risks eroding the freedoms that it has inspired. Os Guinness describes America's foundation as a triad of freedom, faith, and virtue, each dependent on the others. Attacks on these principles threaten the nation's stability. G.K. Chesterton warned in 1922 that abandoning the divine basis for equality would unravel democracy, leading to tyranny and chaos. His words remain relevant as ideological conflicts intensify. On today, Good Friday, Christians are called to contemplate Christ's sacrifice and the nation's drift from its founding values. Chesterton foresaw that only a democracy rooted in Christian principles would endure. Let us pray that America rejects division and embraces its heritage of liberty and justice, tempered by mercy, to avoid the consequences of forsaking its covenantal foundation.
Amen.
Wow, that's really well said. It looks to me like, what happened during Jesus' time was about power and corruption, and that's how they wound up killing him. Power, corruption. Here's a guy that was disrupting the norm, and had a message of just peace and everybody getting along and all those things. And I feel like we're so in that space right now. We're so in the space of, the power and the money and these just false, messages we get from leaders around the world. And we're seeing people, I'm not comparing Trump to Jesus or anything, but you see people who have goodness to try and help, and they're just shut down by this power and money infrastructure that we're seeing literally dismantled right now. And there's so many synergies in today's life to what happened with Jesus.
Yeah, very well said.
You can call that the duality of mankind. Evil of this flesh, of the false idols, all of the things of this world today, we're seeing how it was then, but amplified to the umpteenth degree, where it feels like evil truly rules. The Marxists want to erase religion. They want to erase everything the Founding Fathers did. Yeah. They want to label them just as racist and slave owners, and they rewrite history in this way that completely deconstructs everything about the efforts that the Founding Fathers put into that Constitution. And they went through every facet of every history book. They didn't just come up with it willy-nilly. They went through every aspect of all of written text, including, and first and foremost, the Old Testament and the New Testament. But one of the things that I think is so important to kind of, recognize here is that when people tell us that God doesn't exist, or people tell us that, it's a fairy tale, just don't get mad. Just keep asking, why do you believe that? And when they want to give you the crazy or their anger, just, let them vent. And the more they talk, the easier you can slip in, the good word and hopefully plant the seed. And that's it. Just don't scream,
but
don't yell.
To me, it's so logical when people say that without getting upset or anything. It's so logical. Just look around. Yeah. Like this assembly of animals, plants, humans, water, everything, trees. You ever been to Muir Woods out in San Francisco? Those trees are thousands of years old. They predate everything.
Yeah.
Everything. These living trees. Like, these aren't, accidents that all of these things happen. To me, it all comes, whenever I meet someone like that, I'm like, all right, well, just explain to me how these little things, they're major things, happen from an explosion? Seriously?
Yeah, the notion of fossil fuels, you know what I mean? Like, they just rewrite this. Dinosaurs didn't melt and leave a pile of oil to us. I mean, the fact that we can buy all these stories that they give us, there's been endless amounts of BS stories and once the media gets a hold of it, they could change any narrative, including the Lord and Savior himself, which just tells you the power of media.
Our founding fathers, though, weren't fanatical, like we see in other parts of the world.
Absolutely.
They were very logical about faith when it came to the country. It was about freedom and freedom of choice, and there was a faith element to it, but not a fanatical, here's the sledgehammer that we see around the world. They did a great job with that.
Well, now we see the fanatical here. But it's in the climate religion, right?
Yeah.
Where these wackos who think, oh, my goodness, we have to do this for the planet, so we actually have to set stuff on fire, which goes against trying to save the planet, because now you're releasing more stuff into the air, you dipwads. The same with, the celebrities, the limousine liberals who fly everywhere, who drive everywhere, but tell everybody else, no, you have to do that for the planet.
Right.
It's the same religion. If you don't adhere to that, guess what? They want to stone you. Whether it be, figuratively, by canceling you, by going after you, by trying to get you fired, by trying to screw up your life. That's their way of stoning people.
Rick, your limo's outside. Your driver just came in. He got
I got to go.
A limo to the jet up the block.
Do you remember that list of things you played on the show, Slick? I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was like 43 crises that was going to end us from they were pitching them to us and it always sold an agenda.
Right.
Yeah,
and it was always about 20 years. You got only 20 years till the whole thing's going to implode. Manhattan's going to be underwater by 2020.
You're frozen, you're burned, you're underwater, you're drowning, you're heating, you're this, you're that. Yeah.
And none of it has happened.
Killer
The movie 2012.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, 2012.
Everybody was panicking.
Right.
Thinking that
because the Mayan calendar was ending.
Right. Yeah.
It's just they ran out of stuff to write it on. That's it. Oops.
They ran out of paper.
Right. They ran out of stone. It's like, we filled up the stone. What do we do? Just leave it.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. One other thing to bring up on this, and then obviously we'll move on to news and stuff, but there was a piece today, not to go through the whole thing in the Blaze, about Good Friday and Christianity, and the point of the article also was that in Exodus warned us that even after miracles, the people still forget. And the article was wondering if the country itself is having some form of amnesia right now, and it needs to be kind of, you need to remember, these kind of things that we're talking about. We can't have that. And we're having it to such a degree, and you're seeing, obviously, kind of as we drift away from God more often, the chaos that it brings in places. So
that's our country in general.
Yeah.
Short-term memory across the board.
All right, just getting started at the America First Warehouse on a Friday night. News, sports from everybody. Well, Slick's got sports, but news from everybody. Harry on the highway is here as well.
I'm here.
Slick's got it coming up. Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. We're back right after this.
Damon, can you see the clock?
I cannot see that clock. That's one of those. That's one problem already to write down on the notepad. I have to look to my right because that one's right behind Delgado.
Gotcha.
So that's the problem.
I can see the one right between you and Slick.
I see that one.
I have no clock that I can see.
I see dead
one
people.
To my right, which is fine. I can just look over there.
All right.
Thanks a lot, dude.
I'm gonna get a
I know I'm
mask.
getting old, but
I'm going to
really?
get a mask in
Dead
the back
people?
of my head with my face on it.
I wasn't referring to you.
When the audience is there.
They love it.
Chat.
Oh.
Are we live in the
Looks
chat?
good.
Yes, we are live in the chat.
Hey, chat.
Hey, chat.
A lot of people really touched Damon by what you said and what you read and that entire sort of narrative. Great. Well done, by the way.
Wait a sec. Someone in the chat said, guys, lose the makeup. Nobody here's wearing
nobody ever wears
makeup.
makeup.
Are you kidding me? How will we afford
Nobody's
to
wearing
buy that
makeup.
crap?
Well, I don't want to rat anybody out.
Vinny, Mac, do you have any makeup on?
Well, he went a little heavy
You
with the
little
rouge.
powder puff, you.
With the rouge on the cheeks there.
If I could, I would.
Lose the makeup.
What's up, ticked off? Lose the makeup.
It might be the lighting.
Howdy, Rumblers.
What's
That's
up,
right.
Easy
Yeah.
Mikey?
Yeah, we're feeling like a bunch of models out
Looking good and feeling good.
Super chat.
At first, oh, sorry, Rick.
$5 from Drag Blacker. I like the Bennington flag behind Paul.
Blacker.
Those are very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
and
great
you gotta-
flag.
Guys, when you come here, you got to see this painting.
Oh, the artwork
It's
is beautiful.
so
A lot of the artwork here is
fantastic.
tremendous. It's like a museum.
Amazing place.
I really wish there was a way we could just show them. It's just so incredible.
Beautiful.
This is like the coolest.
We should have like a remote
Teenager's
camera
bedroom.
when Slick goes into the audience, or even if I do, following us and showing some stuff, talking to people. That could
Really?
be kind of
That's
cool.
This angle, I'm
That's a good
staying
idea,
in the
Vince.
audience.
Let's mark
like-
that
I'm going to be
down.
living
You like
in
that
the
idea?
Yeah, we hadn't thought of that.
Put that in the.
They hadn't thought about that. I'm going to put that in the harumph
put
file.
that in the.
Right
what
there,
we
Vince.
should
See,
do
look.
next week.
Vin, look.
Hey,
See?
Vin.
He's not even listening.
No, he doesn't care.
He's worried about his makeup.
Is that what you? Yeah, I'm worried about my makeup here. What
He's,
the hell's going on?
listening to himself.
30 seconds.
Where is that
Quiet.
camera?
We're also going to have a handheld.
I like
Yeah.
that. You
When
make
we
a note of that.
When we put you out in the
David.
parking lot to interview people.
Yeah, that's.
By the food truck guy
I'll be in Delgado's limo
with the skirt steak.
listening to music.
That's a good sandwich that food guy makes.
Oh, my goodness. I can't wait.
Are you
It better-
serious?
you know what? It better not suck because you just keep talking about
What
this
do you mean?
all
We
the
had
time.
it on election night.
I did.
All right, Friday night, America First Warehouse, live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio, Long Island, New York. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's going to do sports here in a second. Vinny Mac's here. Paul, Nolan, Rick Delgado, Harry on the highway sitting in with us. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Aaron and Fran have done such a great job, by the way. I can't say it enough. I'll try to remember to say it as many times as I can over the last weeks in preparation for May 2nd, when you can come here live and see this shindig, which we hope that you do over the next months. Obviously, as we'll be here every Friday night live, so we're excited to have you here at the America First Warehouse. It is quite the place to be, and we think it's going to be good, and it's going to be a
it's
lot of
going
fun.
to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. We're going to do a little after show thing as well. So if you're on the Long Island area right now, obviously it's home base here. No excuse for you not to be here on May 2nd. But and those of you in the live from Studio 6B audience that are thinking about coming here, it's absolutely worth the trip if you're within driving distance or even a quick flight from somewhere. Friday nights are going to be fun here, so make sure you get tickets. If you're interested in tickets, write me an email, lfsxp@yahoo.com, and we'll point you in the right direction to get tickets to be here on a Friday night. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's do some sports. Slick's got it. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, gentlemen. Well, we got the NBA play-in tonight in the East, the 8th seed. It's win or go home here for the playoffs. And we got the Heat leading the Hawks 62-53 at the half. Mavs and Grizzlies, that should be a great game. That's coming up at 9:30 tip-off, and that will be the West 8th seed. So these are the final two teams to get into the NBA playoffs, which start tomorrow. So real exciting there. Some other scores to the ice we go. Just a couple of games left in the NHL as they wrap it up. The playoffs start tomorrow. Check that. The Blues are taking on the Jets. That's a 6 p.m. TNT Game 1 start in the West first round. And the Avalanche take on the Dallas Stars. That's 8:30 puck drop as well. Game 1 West first round. So NHL playoffs in action. NBA playoffs as well. It's playoff time in both those sports for the winter season. RBC Heritage Golf Tournament earlier today. Big D, Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go. And Justin Thomas, 2-day, 12 under, leading the pack right now. And so a good golf outing way. $20 million purse. So it's a pretty damn big tournament there. Major League Baseball, Guardians over the Pirates, 5-2. Bottom 5. Top 6, we have the Tigers taking it to the Royals, 5-1. Phillies blanking the Marlins, 7-zip. Bottom 5. Top of the 4th, the Reds up 7-1 over Baltimore. Nice. They started out losing 1-0. I was moaning already. Yankees blanking the Rays 1-0. Yankees playing good ball too,
like
boys.
that.
Bottom of the fifth.
Wow.
Yeah, Yankees always seem to be winning when I give the scores here. Blue Jays 3-1 over the Mariners, top of the fifth there, and the Cardinals blanking the Mets 2-0. Paul, top of the fifth for the Mets. Twins leading the Braves 3-0 down in Hotlanta in the top of the fourth. Bottom of the first, just underway. Dodgers over the Texas Rangers 1-0. A's lead tied with the Brewers. No score there, actually. Bottom of the first. Bottom of the first also Padres at the Astros in Houston. Here's a football score. The Chicago Cubs defeated the Diamondbacks earlier this afternoon, 13-11. Real pitcher's duel there. And the Giants took on the Angels at 9:38. That comes up first pitch there. So good stuff. Good stuff there going on. Just one quick story, if I may. Well, here you go. I'm bringing you the constant variety of transgender in sports. Maine AG feels no safety concerns for girls playing against trans-identifying athletes. This is the Maine AG. You like this? Catherine Hamilton of Breitbart. After the U.S. Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Maine on Wednesday, State Attorney General Aaron Frey claimed there are no concerns of safety about female athletes competing against transgender identifying males. Frey made the comment during an interview on CNN, continuing his state's defense of letting males play on female sports teams because of their claimed gender identity. The DOJ is suing Maine over its refusal to comply with President Trump's executive order, which interpreted Title IX to prohibit the inclusion of men in women's sports. We've been working through to understand what, if any, problem exists with the participation. If some of the harms that are being alleged really are of some concern, and what we've identified, there really are no concerns of safety, Frey said. He really believes this. Safety concerns about males playing on female sports teams are not unfounded, given their obvious biological disadvantages, along with the incidences like that of Peyton McNabb, a young woman who was seriously injured by a trans-identifying male volleyball player. Even so, Frey insisted that the safety of female athletes is not the concern of Democrats in Maine. He also said officials are only aware of 2 trans-identifying athletes competing on girls' teams in the states. Now, I saw something in California. The Maine high jumpers in track are all males,
Yes.
all the leaders, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, that continues to be the nonsense that's going on in the sports world.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. We'll do some more before the end of the hour. Let's do some news. We got lots of news to do with everybody. Let's kick it off with Rick Delgado. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, let's get right to it. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news today. There's one story that just hit where Donald Trump has won another court case. We'll get to that in just a bit. But first, let's kick it off with this. As President Donald Trump today confirmed that the United States is prepared to walk away from efforts to end the Ukraine war if either side proved intransient. If for some reason one of the two parties make it very difficult, we're just going to say, you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to take a pass, he told reporters. And Marco's right in saying it. And, you know, I think we've all been kind of, you know, part of negotiations on different levels, right? You have to be able to walk away at some point if this doesn't look like it's going to come together. And I think this is probably the one that scares them the most, because we all know this is a deep state war, right?
Yep.
Aren't they all?
Right. But this one in particular, there's a lot of money moving around that's untracked and people don't know about. So if all of a sudden he says, you know what, the United States, we're going to walk away from this. You guys figure it out. That money spigot gets turned off.
Yeah. Well, Vin, do you agree with me on this? That one of the pillars, and guys, the pillars of the MAGA movement was, we got to say we're sick of wars.
Yeah.
Stop killing innocent women and children, sending our kids off to war. They come back, they're treated like dirt. And then when we thought maybe the neocon machine was going to escalate things, Trump whips the saber. Everyone's like, oh, my God, me included. The neocons are in control, and here he is.
Yeah.
He drives people so far into a corner, and then he makes the deal then. When they feel like, okay, he gives no – I love the way he handles this.
Yeah.
Chapter 3 in the Art of the Deal is – be sure you can walk away.
Right.
Always be ready to walk away.
Yeah.
And I think he negotiates, like you said, give me the extreme, but I'm ready to walk away, and we'll settle into something here a little better.
Right.
It's a good negotiating tactic.
Yeah. More from just the news on this story. Trump's remarks, follow the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, saying the U.S. prepared to move on if negotiations could not end the war.
I don't think Rubio said what he said without clearing it with the boss.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because Rubio is the first one when I heard, and it
Right.
caught my attention
Right.
that how far we've come from, I want to have this settled before I get inaugurated,
Yeah.
to now we're at a spot where Rubio comes out, obviously having talked to Trump giving him the clearance to go say it.
Yeah.
And saying we're ready now to walk away. That's a chasm between the two.
Right, and that's something where, like you said, he cleared it with the boss, and the boss said, "Go ahead and say it. I got your back on this."
100%.
You know?
Fantastic.
It says if it's not possible to end the war in Ukraine, we need to move on. We need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about a matter of days, whether or not this is doable. And again, this came out this afternoon, and we'll see what happens. And again, you know, you're talking about putting people, like Paul just said, you push them into a corner now. Either you're going to accept what we're going to do, or we're going to just take everything away from you. Go figure it out yourself.
Yeah, what are they going to do exactly? When you look at Europe, you look at France.
Right.
None of them have the will or the money to be able to do this. So
Exactly.
what are they going to do?
So this could be the master stroke, so to speak. The trump card. The trump card. Hey, look at me.
This is the move.
I made a quip.
But it sounds like we're dealing with two very unreasonable people here. It was
Without a doubt.
Zelensky and Putin. It sounds like they're both just so far off the mark in terms of wanting to even have this discussion, because you don't get this level of frustration from the Trump administration when people are really talking. I think both of them are being really difficult, which is why they probably said, you know what, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And it all started back when Zelensky came to the White House.
Yeah.
What a lovely visit that was.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. We got a lot more to do. We're back right after this.
That's an incredible reference.
Remember Electric Blue?
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we're going back.
Well, I saw an article about Joan Jett and the Blackhawks. One of their first concerts was at the Club Malibu
Yeah.
of course.
And
out in
used to go
somewhere.
hang
on
out
Deer
there.
Park Avenue.
That's
what
where
was, what was the
U2
place on
U2
Deer
was
Park
discovered
Avenue?
there. You know that?
Where
U2.
Zebra would play all the time.
Rum runners?
No.
Deer Park.
Good
Avenue.
times.
Runners. Oh my God.
Good times.
Good times.
Good
the day.
times.
Yeah,
Zebra, Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
I saw Joan Jett there. Yeah.
And YouTube, an early YouTube.
Yes,
They were
that I didn't, but
very-
yes, I heard.
That's where they played Malibu's. That they were discovered. there. That's where they
Malibu's, yeah,
broke.
over in Nassau, yeah.
Was it
And then Zebra. Any of you guys hit the
LIR
Zebra?
News Radio? LI Radio.
I used to go.
LIR.
My friends like Zebra, so I used to go to Zebra a lot in Twisted Sister. Yeah,
I love them. I,
Ra-
Oh, what was the-
Randy
What was
Jackson.
the place in Stony Brook?
he still
that
sounds great, by the way.
happened? Remember the place in Stony
Randy
Brook?
Jackson.
What was
Really?
that
I've
place?
seen him recently. He sounds,
Mad
and he
Hatters.
plays his 12-string
That was
guitar
there?
like he's 30 years
that
old.
was-
He's
Wow.
fun.
Chat,
Remember
what's
Chat,
going
chat.
on?
Did we read AZ
Remember
Mikey's
Hammerheads?
$5 chat yet?
Hammerheads. That
No,
was
but I just see a
huge shopping
$20
center.
from Drag Blacker.
I saw-
Not just the left. I don't. You got it?
No, you can get it because I'm on chat.
I don't think anyone at all really gets Jesus, not even believers. He said, overcome yourself in the world, yet everyone repeats mantras about Jesus while enjoying the hell of their anger, fear, and pride. Okay.
Okay, and then also we got Mr. AZ Mikey who gave us a $5 chat. Chat demands seeing Slickster's smiles and winks. Figure that out along with clock management. Love your family. He has risen.
What does
And
that
no,
mean?
I didn't make that up.
What does clock management mean?
Well, I don't know.
Playing
Maybe.
prevent defense? What does that mean?
Well,
You're staying within the clock all the time.
Yeah, you leave the clock to us. We
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
clock just
Clock,
fine.
clock,
the
clock,
camera-
clock.
And don't worry about Slick's shot. The camera that's in front of him is not working, but it
Right.
will be next week. So this
See,
is what we're doing.
and this is what we were talking about last night, working out these bugs.
Tweaks.
Yeah.
It's all about tweaking.
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Tweak, tweak.
I'm gassy.
I'm going to do one more segment, then go up.
Well, there's a public announcement, public service announcement by Rick Delgado.
Plop,
I'll
plop.
give you gas.
Fizz, fizz.
Thank you for that. I think that was more of a warning.
This segment
than an
brought to you by Rolaids. Delgado, get
Just
your
if he
skates
has to
Hey.
pull his finger, say no.
Oh, man.
I'm looking good and feeling good, if you know what I mean.
on. How you doing?
How you doing?
When I first woke up for that first 2 days, it was brutal.
Cut one.
Because they pump you up.
They pump you up.
They pump you up.
Yeah,
Got one, Aaron.
they do that.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, America First Warehouse. Of course, Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Lots to do. We'll do some more sports with Slick, more news with Delgado. Harry on the highway is here. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts coming up as well. Paul Nolan's here. He's got some news, so we're going to do that here in a second. But, Harry, I know you're going to have to go, so you said you're going to stay here one more segment.
Yeah, I'm going to go up to the control room.
So we're glad you're feeling good.
I'm glad to.
And you're going to be here on
Looking
Friday.
good.
You're going to be here Friday nights.
I'm going to be here every Friday as long as I'm not on the road, yeah. Yeah, I'll play stage manager, which I do my,
Oh, so being on the road is more important than being here with us? on
No,
Friday
it's just
night?
where the Zen master sends me.
That's right.
Who pays the bills?
That's
You
a
know?
good answer, Harry. That's a
Or
good answer.
where Steve Bannon wants me.
Steve Bunyan?
Why don't we get Bannon here to the warehouse on a Friday night?
You know what? I think
oh, come on.
that may be possible.
Get him
Really
to
would.
issue an apology for Studio, what he calls, Four Seasons.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that, yeah.
That was a good one right there, Paul.
Harry keeps telling me, too, he's such a huge fan.
And he is.
Studio 8H.
I mean, honestly, he knows your name very well. Damon and the boys.
Yeah.
He
He
only
knows-
says
yeah.
Damon and those boys.
Yeah, on WD-40. It's a great show. Great show.
I love that show.
But
What are they doing?
we,
Like
could
an
have some,
hour?
we could have some fun.
Watch every night.
Watch every night at midnight.
but I mean, really, all joking aside,
Love that third hour.
all the hosts, everybody with a show
the
wants
best
to come
part of
on
the
here.
show.
Amanda Head's been bugging me to come on. Brian Glenn loves coming on the show.
Oh, Brian's great.
Oh, Brian's new show, by the way. If you don't,
Starts
I hope,
Sunday, right? No, it's
no, it
the
started
third
last
week.
Sunday.
Right?
Yeah. Sundays in America.
Yep.
We talked to him on Saturday when we were doing UFC.
I heard that
man,
was
he
a
was
good,
great.
show.
He was in there too.
Yeah, he was there,
He
right?
was working
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Now, who's sponsoring his show? Joseph A. Bank?
Exactly.
Suit sponsor?
Put a suit on.
Yeah.
Exactly. so.
He made headlines everywhere with that suit comment. Maybe that's what broke the talk stat.
America's men's warehouse.
So Lindsay not wearing a suit.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Harry, we're glad you're feeling good.
So I'm nailed it.
And we look forward to having you here on Friday nights when we put an audience in here, which will be fun.
It's going to be really fun. It's going to be great.
And you'll be playing the studio manager.
I'm
in
gonna
the
play
show?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your acting going.
I got an acting.
got
I
all your
took some
lines?
classes. I had some downtime, so I was able to learn it. But honestly, all joking aside, and I'm serious because I need Joe. I need 6 VIP tickets right there. I've got 3 nurses coming.
Anesthesiologist.
After show.
And
my proctologist
and
all
I've
on the
got
way.
my
They'll be
roommate,
wet nurses.
my step down when I went from the ICU to step down, my roommate John and his sister, who are huge fans of the network,
And my
huge
sponge-
fans of the
sponge,
show, was
bag.
comical.
Wow,
I didn't.
it's amazing.
We'll be here also.
Wow.
Yeah.
No cocktail waitresses, just the nurses.
I could go to Gossips and bring some cocktail waitresses if we want, but
When Harry wants 3 VIP tickets, you know there's something shaking.
yeah, there's something shaky.
Yeah.
No, really. So
All right, good.
We should have. I was talking to Joe earlier. There should be 150 people here first.
Does
night.
everybody
I
want to
really
bet
do.
that Harry's nurses are under 40?
I can guarantee they're
think you're
between
pushing
25 and 35. No, but St. Francis Hospital, everybody was really good. They really took care of me.
It's the best. We have that common.
It is the best online.
common thing
Me and
there.
you were what, 12 years ago?
I was 23 years ago. I had the same surgery.
Yeah.
Well, not the quadruple bypass.
And my dad was 1986
Wow. At St. Francis?
at St. Francis.
Wow. Yeah. Great place.
Great place. If anybody needs to go, great place.
All right, very good, Harry.
hope
Let's do some news. And Paul Nolan's here. He's got some news. What's crossed your mind today?
Well, here's from Breitbart. White House rips Fauci and revamped COVID-19 website detailing virus's true origins. So
I saw this.
What's fantastic about this, guys, one of my favorite things to do is after I read it from a real place like Breitbart, look at all the headlines on Google and the stories on NPR, like everything is like just completely ripping Trump as a COVID denier. Like it's just the way they frame it is hysterical. But the White House revamped the COVID-19 guidance page, which now states the original virus was a lab leak involving gain-of-function research. That's like news to all of us. The website features the heading lab leak with subheading of true origins of COVID-19. And some of the key points on it were the virus poses a biological characteristic not found in nature. Data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to the previous pandemics where there were multiple spillover events. Wuhan is the home of the China virus, foremost SARS research lab, which also has a history of conducting gain-of-function research, gene-altering and organism supercharging in an inadequate biosafety levels. Guys, remember, they said that lab had as good of, health protection as a dentist's office. Which, let's be honest, that's essentially nothing.
No, right. It was terrible.
And then I think the last point here was by nearly all measures of science, there was evidence of natural origin. It would have already surfaced, but it hasn't. So it's nice to see that Fauci is going to be exposed more than he is. It'll be fun to see how the liberal lunatics spin this because they won't give up their masks.
It's tough enough to deal with like a natural disease that just spreads. Like
Right.
the flu and things that we've gone through. We had to deal with a lab-created disease
Test
that
weapon.
they lied about, and that the entire left, for some reason, has completely disregarded and forgotten that this was created in a lab and
Right.
spread to us, and they all lied about it. They don't remember this. They lied about this to us for years.
People don't remember that, but this was going down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and they rushed all of this study. They packed up their bags, ran out of town with all of their scam weaponry, and brought it to Wuhan.
Right.
Because they were nailed, and there was reason to believe they were going to be shut down there. But what did they do? They picked up their virus, they ran, and they still made their trillions.
Bobby Kennedy was right about this from day one.
Jump Street.
We talked about his book,
Yeah.
I think, a couple of weeks ago. His book just absolutely nailed Fauci. It nailed where it came from, Wuhan lab. It nailed everything, including the vaccines.
Including some of the AIDS-like evidence inside of this
Yeah.
virus, which is a lot of people thought you were a crazy conspiracy theorist if you said something like this AIDS virus was man-made as well.
Right. Yeah, because we saw this coming out of Australia when they were working on their own vaccine, that people were they were testing positive for HIV, and they immediately had to shut it down because the news was getting out there. And when you talk about the, when this whole thing went down, because that was just after me and Slick and you, I think, joined Damon for the show. It was like a few weeks after when all of this exploded, right?
Well, we were
Within
doing
the
it for
first month?
We had it going for a while.
Well, your guys' first show with me was March of 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was right when it
Right.
exploded.
Right when it exploded.
Yeah. So it was pretty much unfolding for us as we started, doing the show with Damon. And I remember, we were all like, there was so much skepticism just on basic stuff. Like, this is not how you treat other viruses. Why would you treat it like this? The whole thing about, I was watching Tucker Carlson today. He was on with Sean Ryan, and he's talking about how he just felt like there's something wrong here. And it wasn't because of the science. He said it was because the people that were pitching it, he could tell that they were lying. And he goes, and I knew some of them. This is Tucker. He goes, I knew some of these people, and I could tell that they were lying. So that was another thing. I think a lot of people picked up on the pushers of the vaccine, that these people were just flat out lying. There was no science behind the 6 feet. Fauci admitted it. He admitted it, I think, recently, that there was no science behind that. It just kind of happened. He was caught on video before ordering everybody to wear a mask, that if you wear a mask, it's not really going to work. It might catch one droplet, but they don't work. All the true stuff came out just before they decided, hey, we're going to shut everything down. This is our chance.
The thing that scared me the most out of it was how the system that we have in place of information. We have experts, you have scientists, you have the media, you have we have politicians, right? That entire system jumped on this thing and lied to us in concert. And I remember going through a debate, one of my Facebook battles, one of my famous ones, as you probably know, with doctors from Northwell. When that whole, what's it, ivermectin, the drug that Trump was pushing, right?
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine
Yeah.
and ivermectin.
Yes. So we're debating that. I'm like, well, what about this and what about that? And they literally treated me like, as a complete village idiot, that you don't know what this is really about, all of this stuff. And I'm like, geez, these guys are in hospitals. Maybe they know what they're talking about.
Right.
But everybody, the entire system, that's the scariest part here. Because if that system can manipulate information like they did to us, all of them together in concert, including social media and all that, imagine what they can do in another thing. And it doesn't have to be a virus.
You mean,
it could be
or
just
a
hating
virus
someone.
that is 10 times worse than this last one?
Yeah.
Where they have data on all of us who didn't comply versus the people who did. I mean, think about how much data they have on everybody. And I'll be the first to say, D, I don't know if you're going to agree with me. You're going to say I have a tinfoil hat. You might want to cue the I'm a nut music right now. But I'm fully certain that Event 201, that rehearsal they had before it came out
in October,
and I was certain of it then. I'm still certain now this was all orchestrated.
Yeah.
I think there was a corporate structure in place. I think the media and it's the typical, call it Bilderberger type meetings, but the ones we never even heard of, knew that they could orchestrate a plan to shut down an election, to shut down a nation, to siphon off wealth. They have think tanks with endless amounts of money, budget, and brainiacs of the highest order who can play all kinds of scenarios out. So
Yeah.
I think it was a fantastic scam.
And do you want to put a little propeller on your tinfoil hat?
Yes, please.
Check this out. I don't know if you heard about this. This came out recently. Remember the World Military Games were held when? In October of 2019 in the city of Wuhan. So you've got all these military, all these soldiers from around the world gathered in the hub of Virus Central, and from what I understand, many of them went back to their countries already infected.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
put that in your hat and spin it.
Well, you got to remember, Trump, I was doing the rallies then, and Trump kept talking about, at these rallies, about this virus he was talking about. And I noticed that at that time, October, of 2019, there was a lot of foreign press, and they all were from China. And they all start. Now, when you go to China, they wear the masks, but they were wearing masks.
Already.
Yeah. They all were wearing masks. And I'll never forget, that Christmas of 19, about 7 of us were very sick for a week and a half. They had me on antibiotics for 8 weeks and couldn't figure things out.
Wow.
And that was before the word COVID was even around.
That's because of your hernia, I think.
I don't know which one that was.
I mean, Paul, I don't think you're, and this may shock you more than what you tried to shock me with, is I don't think that's nowadays that much of a tinfoil hat statement.
Do you remember me one day into it telling you this guy Fauci's a scam? And you guys were like, whoa, this guy's been around forever. I said, I'm telling you, this guy's a deep state loser.
He was.
Yeah.
It was everything about.
All about money.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, America First Warehouse. We're back right after this.
Very good. It's funny. My pillow. Everybody loves my pillow in the back of my shit. People are like, I love that pillow.
So I think, though, like on the Fridays, we should maybe have a group, what story we each want to do, and we can kind of talk about it like that again, because I like when we get to dialogue it a little bit,
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's great.
It flowed well.
All right, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting up.
Did you hear about the study where they
Oh, you are? Okay.
life expectancy
Okay.
of COVID
I thought I heard her say
vaxxed
something.
I didn't see
Don't
it.
tell me.
You got vax, Vin?
I got vaxxed. I was traveling all over the world at the time, and they wouldn't let me in anywhere.
Good seeing you. Henry.
Shockwaves have been sent rippling
so
through
happy.
scientific community after a
Oh,
study
okay.
found that around 30 years have been wiped out of the average life expectancy of people who
Nice.
at least received 2 doses of the mRNA vaccine.
Harry, what was your camera? One
How
of
was that
Jeez.
possible?
I'm over there.
How many years?
They say the average is 30.
30
I guess,
years.
I guess because they're going by, the very young
Oh,
who are dying very early.
going to say I should be done by now. Wow. That is
My
brutal.
buddy actually was a printer, made up the cards, and
No,
then
these were real CDs.
Harry, is that your water?
No,
No, yes.
I don't know what that
Harry,
is.
Harry, you got to get off, and Slick, you got to get in that seat so we can get before we hit the break.
be careful.
Those aren't my keys.
Slick is now close.
Is your keys, Harry?
Oh, I'll take it back.
Give me my mug.
I so regret getting that
Nice
vaccine.
mug.
Nice mug, Harry.
Nice mug.
Nice mug. Did you break your? Damon broke his mug.
Chat, 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 live in the chats. Let me
Joe,
check it.
thanks for everything, man.
Let me check it. Let me check it.
You know, the audience should know the effort these guys go through.
Yeah.
What they did, what they did to make this place this way.
Unbelievable.
It's just,
Yeah.
This you just made it work. Put it back up on stage. All right. Because in a wide shot, it's going to show up. I'd rather see it empty.
TJK 3746. Yes, that is definitely a must see. The Tucker interview with former Congressman Weldon.
it's
Kurt
an
Weldon.
absolute must see.
Must see.
If people don't have any idea how horrifying the world is, when you see that, it starts to tie so many of the things about how the deep state really is just an
Yep.
intelligence community that has endless tentacles that can erase and eradicate anybody at any time.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, America First Warehouse, Real America's Voice, 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're all in wherever you're watching and listening across the country. We'll do some more sports with Slick here in a second. We'll do some more news with Paul Nolan and with Rick Delgado. But right now, Vinnie Mac is here. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts and some news. What's going on?
Oh, boy.
Oh, by the way, Vinny's segment is brought to you by our friends at Eternal Life Coin, which, of course, I always have mine on me, and I do tonight
Nice.
as well. EternalLifeCoin.com, EternalLifeCoin.com. Anybody that purchases one, it's a great gift for Easter. I don't think you can get it at this point for Easter, but it's a great gift. Anybody who purchases one now or even after Easter, send us your receipt. You get a free T-shirt from LiveFromStudio6B.com merch store. Vinnie Mac, what's going on?
That's a great product. And I did want to mention, in light of it being Good Friday and Easter on Sunday, one of my favorite movies, all-time movies too, doesn't have to be this time of year, is The Risen. Have you seen that movie with the soldier who kills Jesus and winds up, traveling with them and discovering, they're trying to prove that he really isn't dead. And through that, he sees him born again. He comes back alive. It's a great movie. One of the best movies, not just in faith, just in general. So anyone who hasn't seen that, I totally recommend you check it out. So I've been battling all day with a lot of my liberal friends on this on this immigration thing.
Well, it is Friday.
Facebook Friday.
It was not a good Friday for some of them. We got into it. It got a little ugly.
Uh-oh.
It got a little ugly because the insanity of this guy, this MS-13 guy in El Salvador. The senator went to go see him, and we talked about this last night, I believe, that the Dems are just proving all along that they don't want any of these to go back. They want to make Trump work really hard, one by one. And as I thought about this, and I had to come up with some good lines too in these battles because the liberals were really on fire. But it's the same people who refuse to stand for this 13-year-old cancer kid.
Yeah.
That are salivating over a wife-beating MS-13 drug trafficker of people in El Salvador. They're salivating over this guy. I watched Stephen, Trump's guy, what's his name?
Stephen Miller.
Yeah, Stephen Miller.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's just so good, man. Everything he says is so point on, articulate, and he's talking about a deportation order. And what does it mean? I think you would talk about this clip, right?
Yeah.
That was the clip you wanted
Well,
to
no,
run?
that clip we played a couple days ago. I don't think
Yeah.
you were here for it.
Right.
About a 2-minute clip where he says they don't know the difference between a deportation order and a hold order.
Yeah, something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
And so I watched that clip, and I'm trying to use that as ammo, and it basically means you don't get to stay here. So you have to be deported. If you come back for some reason, if we're brought back, if the senator brought this guy back, he'd just be arrested and deported. He's like, this is just stupid. You don't understand the issue. But it's not just the people in the mix of this. It's the average citizen that actually thinks that something really nefarious is going on with the Trump administration and innocent people in this country. That's the narrative that they're sending. They're using this entire thing. And here's a couple of things that I use to battle. The Maryland police, they said he was MS-13. Immigration judge number 1 said he's MS-13. ICE said he's MS-13. Immigration judge number 2 said he's MS-13. The El Salvadorian president said, yeah, he's one of ours, he's MS-13. And the Democrats say he's a Maryland dad. And it just was a very enlightening experience to have these battles up until showtime, frankly, to see the lunacy like we went through in COVID, like we've gone through with everything involving Trump. If Joe Biden was president right now and he did this, there would be no conversation.
Right.
There'd be no dissent. There'd be nothing that anybody's upset about.
Well, we saw that with Obama.
And we saw that with Obama, 100%. Nobody is upset about it. And my angle with these crazies that I deal with on a regular basis is this is not about this guy. This is about Trump. You guys just hate him so much. The media has created this narrative of hate so much that even an obvious thing that should be obvious to everybody and every American, frankly. And then, of course, today they arrest 2 guys, these Trenduagua guys from Venezuela, who tortured and shot this poor woman in Washington. Another illegal doing it. I mean, it's crazy to me how many times something like this has to happen, where the obvious is shown to us right in our faces, and then you get on social media and you see how the news portrays this, and you're outraged by the entire narrative, but here we are having to fight a narrative this ridiculous, this extreme. That's really what gets to me.
Well, that's what you get when you have 6 corporations owning 90% of the news outlets of the mainstream media. The same 6 mega corporations, they have edicts from the top down, and it's like a spider web, and they know exactly how they're going to frame it. That's why we always see them, right, Rick? We always see them, repeating the same bullet point.
Same narrative.
They keep on branding a constitutional crisis.
Right.
They keep branding some other lunacy, and the low frequency, mainstream viewer loves to stay in his echo chamber, can't leave it.
Right.
He has comfort there.
They're emotionally attached to that argument now, and they can't let it go because, well, they've been told, they've been trained, they've been indoctrinated to believe everything they're told, that Trump is evil, and you must now believe this because Trump believes this. That's just the way they are. And getting back to your point about Stephen Miller, I was wrong. It wasn't it was a withholding order versus a deportation order. And he doesn't even get arrested, Vin. It's when he lands, they take him into custody. He doesn't get to get through customs and start walking out. Yeah, he doesn't go to baggage claim and maybe go rent a car and then he gets picked up. He doesn't even get that far. He gets off the plane, they immediately take him into custody and take him to a deportation center to what? Get deported because the order still stands.
It's very black and white, and it brings me back to what we just talked about with COVID. We went through a narrative with the media. We went through all these institutions that back that narrative, that created a brainwashing of sorts of citizens, and that's really kind of how this all ended up on the COVID side. Now you got this immigration thing. All the same things happening again. Like we're watching it again. There's nothing different than what happened with Fauci. The names have changed. The institutions are different. We got judges. We've got people pontificating on TV. We've got leaders of political parties taking major positions on this issue. But it's the same thing. And we can't stop it. And it seems to all revolve around anything that Trump says. Like Trump is this magnet for this complete lying machine that's institutionalized in this country right now.
Right.
I think Trump is In the last 24 hours, it seems clear to me that the administration has done a pretty good job of holding some of their cards close to the vest on this, while Van Hollen was doing this ridiculous dog and pony show, and the Democrats all screaming like he's not going to be the last one to go down there, like legitimately, like this is the hill. They decided that they're going to, everything we've heard. And then you see President Trump today, after Van Hollen's gone there, come back. And Aaron, if you can throw my screen up. They drop this at around 6:30 tonight. This is Trump in the Oval Office today, and this is the tweet. This is the hand. Now they've obviously been sitting on this picture.
Yeah.
And let me just show you the picture, and let me just show you the guy's hand.
Oh, you mean the hand of the the illegal immigrant gangbanger wife beater?
Which also means, but those gang signs,
So
he's also like a captain.
Like, is the MS-13 tattoo the giveaway here? Like, hello?
Wow.
Like Chris Van Hollen, hello? This is who you went down there for? This is who you had dinner with? This is who you're sipping margaritas with? This is who you're...
Did you see the Babylon?
You want to do Dancing with the Stars with them? Like what? And so Trump drops this today,
Wow.
and clearly they had to be sitting on this, and they've kind of let them.
Yeah.
They've given them a little rope here
To hang
and
themselves,
to make them look foolish than they already
Finally.
do.
They
look.
did.
They're giving them rope to hang themselves,
Right.
which they didn't do last time.
And did
They
you see
did.
what the
That's good.
mainstream media news did? They were right in line where they should be. Cut number 4.
There's
It's
a
only
minute
20
left.
seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
It's only 20 seconds. Watches MSNBC, cuts away from Trump reading
Well,
off his list of
no,
crimes.
We can't.
Oh, we can't?
We got to go to commercial.
Oh.
So let's play that when we get back for
Okay.
hour 2. We'll do that. Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night from the America First Warehouse. More news, more sports, all coming up.
Is that hour 1? Dang, it's hour 1. That was a quick hour 1.
Yeah, that was good. Nice and fast. That's the way it should go. Yeah, even though, it's slapped right in our face, I still just shocks me when I see kind of what happened today and, COVID, all these other things. It still just shocks me. And these are, I've got some smart friends. Like, they're not idiots.
I get it.
And I get into this thing with some of them, and I'm just like, what? It's hard to even react because it's so outrageous.
Yeah, it's amazing because there is like, it's just weird. There's like, for one, it's like weaponized empathy. Like the media has found a way to like tug on a certain like left hemisphere person's heartstrings to buy into everybody's a victim. And then they pummel the narrative over and over and over again. It's really like they're really playing on that left hemisphere, right hemisphere type of person.
It's classic brainwashing across the board. And we've seen it clinically described to us.
Well,
it's classic.
It's by design. Like you can check out, like there's some interesting books on Operation Mockingbird, which was, dismantled the CIA's, brainwashing for the Vietnam War. And they basically infiltrated the news media then. And there were hearings at the Senate. They had to break it up. Well, they broke it up and they split it into like 13 or 14 different operations. That didn't go away. Their power and control was, there was tapes. You heard CIA leaders saying things like, bragging like, I can make any event happen anywhere in the world with these techniques. And it just gets brushed under. And
it's amazing.
It's a shame.
sorry, super chats. Got in the YouTube. Les Durham, $2. Chats wish Harry good health. Just Char, $10 super chat. Happy Easter to the Facebook chatters. And Drag Black just came in with another $10. Vinny should watch the movies King of Kings and Barabbas from 1961 and Jesus of Nazareth from 1977. The best Bible movies were made from the 1940s through the 1970s.
I will
Drag
take
Black
note of that.
coming in with $10. Yeah, Barabbas.
I recently watched Ben-Hur. You guys ever see Ben-Hur?
Yes.
Long time.
As much as I could watch of it, yeah. Ben-Hur.
All right, hour two, live from Studio 6B from the America First Warehouse, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio on a Friday night. Welcome on in, everybody. Wherever you're watching on social media on Real America's Voice, we appreciate it. If you're watching on social media, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up. Make sure you give us a follow at LFS6B pretty much everywhere on social media. And, of course, Real America's Voice at Real AM Voice. Slick Rick's here. He's going to do some sports here in a second. Rick Delgado's doing the news. Vinnie Mac and Paul Nolan here doing news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down on a Friday night from the America First Warehouse as we continue to get towards May 2nd when you, the Live from Studio 6B audience, will have a chance to come here and spend Friday night with us. Live from the America First Warehouse, and it's going to be fun. Lots of news to get to. We'll get to some of that as well, but we've been talking about, obviously, the Democrats' priority problem with this, and President Trump dropping this photo tonight that he did. But
Why isn't the news picking that up? Why aren't reporters?
yeah,
This is what they're supposed to do.
yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, they may be. Some of them may be, since he dropped it at 6:30. Dropped it at 6:36. They put that out tonight. It just seems to me pretty. I think Stephen Miller's kind of been 2 steps ahead of all the Democrats on this the whole time.
I mean, before that, though, like they had the tape of them having lunch or margaritas, whatever they were doing.
Yeah, well, none of them are
but-
interested in going to do their job.
Right.
Look at there was a video today now, footage of him getting pulled over in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Human trafficking. 7-8 people in the car or something
Like that, yeah.
All using his address.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I
Texas.
feel like the more they let the Democrats go, act like that again. They want to do
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars with this guy. They continue to drop another thing, drop another
Right.
thing, drop. And listen, they just it feeds right into the argument of what we've always said, right? The Democrats view the non-citizen as somehow more virtuous than the actual citizens. That's
Right.
we're a country of immigrants. We're a country of yes, but we're a country of citizens first.
Yeah.
The
absolutely.
Babylon Bee said the headline was U.S. hostages. In Iran. I'm sorry, I'm burning out. U.S. hostages.
Gaza.
Hamas.
Hamas.
Gaza, yeah.
Should pretend that they're MS-13 so senators come visit them.
Yeah.
It's like
Right, exactly. Chris Van Hollen would never go.
Go
It's not
there.
going to Gaza to try to get exactly.
Sorry, I
No.
had a brain freeze.
As a matter of fact, he probably wouldn't even go to the Capitol, to the Washington gulags to see the J6 prisoners if they asked him to.
No, of course he wouldn't.
Because
He
that's
wouldn't
too
even go
close.
see Rachel Moore, a real constituent, if you
Right.
want to talk about real constituents. Again, he was. You heard the mother. You've heard
Yeah.
others now. They're all absent. That other slimeball Raskin from there too.
Yeah.
He's all up on his high horse now. That how great a good job this guy's done, and he won't be the last, and yada yada yada, and all this stuff. Where was he? Again,
Nowhere.
he's in the same area.
Yeah, exactly.
No one ever heard from him either.
And MSLSD cut away when the mother started talking, in their coverage, which is just
Right.
outrageously biased. I mean,
Reprehensible.
if anything, you just have empathy for this. There's no political side to that.
They had no empathy
Her daughter
for a
was
child
raped
with
and killed.
cancer, as you said.
Yeah, there's no politics in it though. you know.
They sat on their hands for a kid with cancer who wanted to be a cop, who shouldn't be alive right now, who's probably a walking version of a miracle. But they're crossing time zones and using up valuable miles on their cards to go see this guy who's worth zero. Basically worth zero.
Yeah.
But they think they can monetize this. This is like a reverse wrap-up smear. They're trying to monetize this because they got the narrative out there. As I was saying before we went to break, you mentioned MSNBC. Well, here they are doing what they do. It's called the lie of omission, right? Because if they don't talk about it, they hope nobody hears about it. Here's what happened when President Trump, during the swearing in of Dr. Oz, watch this, cut number 4, as he starts reading the crimes of the deported illegal gangbanger wife beater. Cut 4, check this out.
In 2019, Garcia was issued a deportation order. 2 separate judges affirmed Garcia was a member of MS-13, which is a gang that may be even worse.
We've been watching President Donald Trump there swearing in the new administrator of the CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Mehmet
Picture
Oz,
the
during
itchy
this conversation.
trigger finger on the producer of that show, like he's going to say it, boom.
Yeah, exactly. And that again goes back to this media narrative of they've got their marching orders. This is a story we have to tell. We can't have the truth come in here. And as soon as they start hearing the truth, they freak out. They cut away. But it makes it so obvious. And that again, that's they're lying to the American people, but it's a lie of omission.
I know what I'm enjoying when CNN goes to those statistics about, the percentages of people who now hate Trump and percentage of all that, and they keep coming back, great. They were talking about, and I see this on social media a lot, that they're saying, well, a lot of Trump voters regret voting for Trump. So they did it on CNN. Fantastic. And they said, 2% of the voters said, maybe I might have changed my vote. 14% for Kamala Harris would have likely changed their vote. It's a 12%, delta there in Trump's favor. And the guy's going crazy. And I'm just like, the public's not buying this.
Right.
People really aren't buying this.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't have scripted any
What's
better.
his name, Harry?
Harriet?
Harriet?
You want to see a little more
I
Harriet?
love that guy.
Because I had that clip a couple nights ago. We didn't get to play it, but he's going haywire. The people who regret Trump don't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's cut 7A. Here's Harry talking about illegal deportations and the poll and how people are reacting to them. Again, they hate the truth, but, numbers don't lie. Liberals do. Cut 7A. Check it out.
Deport all undocumented immigrants. Voters favoring the government trying to deport all 11 million of them. Back in 2016, just 38% of voters wanted the government to try to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. Compared to where we are in 2025, 56% the majority. The American people have come a long way on this issue, much closer to Donald Trump, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Americans are increasingly saying the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy, and why Donald Trump's net approval rating on that issue is in the positive.
Yeah. There you go.
How's he still have a job? That's amazing.
How is he surviving? Yeah, they're just like, did he change the numbers there?
But there's Van Hollen flying out to God knows where to go see a criminal because he thinks, the American people, this is a good story. I'm gonna ride this to my next victory.
Absolutely crazy. All right, we'll do some more news here in a second. Let's do some sports with Slick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. If you're looking at that Rev 7 or any of those Easter gifts Mike has, again, mypillow.com/LFS6B is where to go. And then, of course, LFS6B is your promo code at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
Oh, here's a story. Won't surprise anyone, but I'm going to report anyway. Kamala Harris paid LeBron James Entertainment Company $50,000 for campaign event production record show. James endorsed Harris before the election. Ryan Morick of Fox News reporting. LeBron James' endorsement of Kamala Harris last year came with an added bonus for him. Records show that on January 28th, the former VP paid James's entertainment company $50,000 for campaign event production. The NBA's all-time leading scorer has long been critical of President Trump, and James urged his followers to vote Kamala Harris the week before the election with a video that garnered criticism for out-of-context clips. James and his longtime business partner, Maverick Carter, founded the company Spring Hill Entertainment in 2020. What are we even talking about here? When I think about my kids and my family and how they will grow up, the choice is clear to me. Vote Kamala Harris, James posted on X. With the post, James shared a video that featured negative headlines about Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden and a clip of Tony Hinchcliffe saying he and a black person in the crowd carved watermelons. The video also features other headlines that Trump had spewed Nazi rhetoric and clips of African Americans being assaulted. Commentators said the clips were taken out of context and ripped James, But he doubled down days later. Having a daughter, having a wife, having a mother, and things of that nature, what Harris believes in when it comes to women's rights, that's what the future for with my kids and where I see our country should be. I feel that endorsement is only right. I mean, come on, you guys know me. It damn sure wasn't going the other way, he said at the time. Carter and James have been linked since high school. The two played basketball at St. Vincent's Mary High School in Akron, Ohio. So here you go. No surprise there. But yeah, LeBron got paid like a lot of people got paid. In fact, they got overpaid.
How would he like some guy playing in his daughter's basketball team in high school and in the locker room?
Right.
I asked that to LeBron, who, by the way, is irrelevant.
Exactly. Stands for that rhetoric. And, well, President Trump, he's back in the sports world. He loves sports. Trump and Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred have meeting at White House amid Pete Rose debate. Trump said he would pardon Pete Rose posthumously. Ryan Canfield of Fox News. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and President Donald Trump met at the White House Wednesday. Major League Baseball confirmed to Fox News Digital. What Manfred said and Trump discussed is unclear. The Washington Post was the first to report on the meeting. President Trump is a longtime fan of baseball, as he has done in the past. Commissioner Rob Manfred was pleased to visit the White House again to discuss issues pertaining to baseball with the president, and Major League Baseball spokesman told Fox News Digital of the visit. The White House did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. One thing Trump and Manfred may have discussed is the subject of Pete Rose's Hall of Fame candidacy. Trump said he would pardon Rose posthumously after he died at the age of 83 in September 2024. Major League Baseball didn't have the courage or decency to put the late, great Pete Rose, also known as Charlie Hustle, into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now he is dead. Will never experience the thrill of being selected, even though he was a far better player than most of those who made it, and can only be named posthumously. What a shame, Trump posted to his Truth Social back in February. Anyway, over the next few weeks, I will be signing a complete pardon for Pete Rose, who shouldn't have been gambling on baseball, but only bet on his team winning. I always argued that. He never betted against himself or the other team. He had the most hits by far in baseball history and won more games than anyone in sports history. Baseball, which is dying all over the place, should get off its fat, lazy bleep and elect Pete Rose, even though far too late, into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So that's going to be quite a debate, this Pete Rose, whether or not he gets in this year in Cooperstown. I don't think they're going to be that quick to respond. But the president pardoning him certainly will shed some light on that. The man deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. Very few people can argue that he doesn't.
No question about it.
But that's the whole Bart Giamatti thing, and he passed, and the family kind of doubled down on him not getting in.
Every MLB game is now brought to you by FanDuel.
Right. That's the best point.
Yeah. Okay.
Total hypocrisy, and no question about it, Paul. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. I mean, it's never going to have, like you said, he's never going to experience it. And to me, it's never going to feel like it probably should have.
No, of course not.
If and when it does happen.
Yeah, his family a little bit, but that's, again, he's not there.
Can I ask you a question as a diehard Reds fan?
Yep.
In a weird way, I feel like it kept Rose in the spotlight his whole life, though.
Yeah, it definitely fueled his book sales and his signing autographs at Dream World in Vegas. He made a lot. He definitely did profit off it. But he lost a job as a manager. He could have had a great front office job, major salary, 7 figures.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so I don't think he really.
Not only that, just having that title of Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But
one of the greatest to ever play the game.
But you've really ever heard the argument that he wasn't amongst the best ever?
Right.
Oh, most hits in baseball history. I mean, how do you top that?
And he was such I met him twice, and
Me too, I met him.
So cool.
Yeah. He was quite a cat.
Good
Right,
guy.
but think about how much that cost him.
Oh, I know,
You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
That's the
We
part.
never
Cost him
he was always
huge,
on our-
yeah.
he
Cost
was
him
always in the
cost the fame.
subject. He was never forgotten.
Yeah.
Unreal.
All right, live from Studio 6B. More on a Friday night. News coming up right after this. So, Aaron, just a couple notes. Clips, intro video, and clips are not in our ears. Yeah, I get no audio from the clips. And
no audio from the
clips. The opening that you play each hour.
Right.
But Fran's music I hear, but no clips and no.
So I was able to hear that clip of the CNN guy.
No, you heard it in the house, not in your ears.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Drag Blacker with a $5 super chat. Paul should read the novel Ben-Hur was adapted from, written by Lew Wallace in 1880. Paul, in your spare time, I think you should pick that novel up.
In 2019, Garcia was issued
I could barely get through Ben-Hur the movie. It was like 4 hours long. I'm going to read that book.
If it were made today, it'd be Ben, he, him, they, us. Yes. Ben pronouns.
That's a good. I got to get back to the chat. I want to take a picture of that.
I didn't know there was a book that movie was based on. Did you? I had no idea.
My mom was telling me it was. Let me go back. Let me find this. Oh, Warren Koenig, I think, says it best here. Pete has been punished. Only the fans are being punished now. And I think he's right.
Yeah.
LC San Diego, Racing Banshee, Tumbleweed Farm, Mark Cruz, Julia, all in the Twix chat. Everybody in the chats, let us know what you think of this setup here.
I'm seeing good stuff here, and I know that the Greta Garbo, who's on here, she's on a lot. She's been with us, Damon, since 2015.
Yeah.
There's a couple of folks out there whose names you just recognize over and over from the days when we first got this thing going. It's great to see people. 10 years, man. Great run. Greta, thank you. And I'll send you a picture of Winston.
I wish my girl, Tanita Samuel, was in the YouTube.
I have them.
You have her? In the YouTube chat. She's
in the YouTubes.
She was like always such a great supporter.
A great supporter of the YouTubes.
She's still watching.
Sound like the blues on a Friday night from the America First Warehouse. Well, let me talk to you about our friends over at Birch Gold. Tariffs have thrown the global economy into chaos. Potential widespread inflation tied to massive supply chain disruptions is weighing heavily on all of us, but there is a silver lining that most people missed, and that, of course, is that President Trump specifically exempted gold and silver bullion from these sweeping tariffs. While these new policies are triggering significant financial chaos, the administration preserved your ability to diversify into precious metals. If you're concerned about your savings, and I bet most of you are, I encourage you to have a free consultation with Birch Gold and a precious metal specialist. The first step is to text the word America and send it to 989898, and you'll receive a free, no-obligation information kit on gold. Learn how to hold gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA for no money out of pocket. You can buy your gold from Birch Gold. Isn't it time that you start to think about it? I think it is. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of satisfied customers. You can text the word America to 989898 right now to get started. Again, text America to 989898 to claim your free information kit on gold, and do it right now. Well, think about it. Every dollar you spend is either supporting your values or working against them. In today's economy, when you spend your money, it's going to matter. That's how you take back your country. Well, Patriot Mobile is leading the way as America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Switch today without sacrificing quality or service. You'll get exceptional nationwide coverage Because unlike most budget wireless providers, Patriot Mobile has access to all 3. Yes, I said all 3 of the major U.S. networks. You can even add 2 numbers on 2 networks on one phone, something the big guys can't even do. So stay connected with flexible, unlimited data plans to fit your lifestyle. These plans offer high-speed data, mobile hotspots, international roaming, device protection, and even internet backup. Here's the best part. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, of course, you're supporting faith, family, and freedom. If you believe in the First and Second Amendments, the right, the sanctity of life, supporting your veterans, well, then that is where you belong. Switching is simple. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Patriot Mobile's 100% U.S.-based customer service team will help you get activated in minutes. Right now, go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT to get a free month of service with promo code RAV. Make the switch. Defend freedom with every call and text you make. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT. All right, 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio, Long Island, New York. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Vinnie Mac's going to have some thoughts. Paul Nolan's doing some news, but let's do a little more news right now with Rick Delgado. Delgado, give me a couple stories here. What's going on?
All right. Well, it seems like this story just refuses to die, Damon, as the girls of the Blue Origin, the all-female...
Oh, man. What even is that?
The all-female group is still in the news, including pop star Katy Perry, because of their brief... And I say brief.
They're briefs.
Trip to space on Monday. The criticism that followed has lasted much longer than the 11-minute flight that they took.
Courage.
I saw a thing on Twitter that said, here's a live look at the girls going to space. Someone took like a bottle rocket and put a can over it, and the can went up and came back down.
That's a good one.
And I thought, man, that's about accurate.
That's
right
about
there.
it, right.
Yeah.
On Friday, lifestyle expert Martha Stewart jumped into it.
Oh, God.
Posting a video of her own, check this out, 2007 zero-gravity flight on a Boeing 727 aircraft called Geoforce One, using a caption that referred to one of Perry's hit songs. Atop the video of Stewart doing flips in zero gravity, the caption read, "Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting in the wind?"
Oh,
that's of
like
course
Katy Perry.
from
Fire
Katy
Jerk,
Perry's,
right?
Firework from 2010 But just
The fact
goes
that
to show you
that, Slick, is a little concerning.
I know that song.
I was gonna
Everybody
say
knows
the
that
same
song.
thing.
Firework.
We're doing a blood test.
It came out when he was,
do you ever
just
feel
a,
like
just
a
a
piece
young
of veal?
lady.
Yeah.
Dancing around. But kind of points you to 2007, where I guess you can achieve the same thing that the Blue Origin people did when they put their little space bounce house atop the phallically shaped rocket there and shot it up. That you could achieve the same thing on a 727 aircraft that you could achieve by this rocket being shot up into the air.
You could achieve it at Space Mountain, too. I mean, what's the difference?
Exactly. Stewart's Instagram account also posted, in case you were spaced out in 2007, Martha has always been ahead of her time.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
She did time, too, right?
The ladies the ladies on board the flight were not very happy. Gayle King has come out and said, she's not very happy with some of the criticism.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, here is, I don't know if you, because we didn't play this when it happened, Cut 7. Here's the Blue Origin's capsule as it returns to Earth, and you can see it free falling as the chutes open. And listen for the screen. It sounds like an amusement park ride. Cut 7. Listen to it and watch for yourself. Check this out.
Parachutes deploy from the crew capsule. Those are like the guide parachutes. There go the drogue parachutes.
Just free falling right there until those drogues came out.
And then next will be the main parachutes that
God.
pulled out.
It's like my 16-year-old daughter having a sleepover.
Actually,
Exactly.
it kind of looks like Katy Perry's career right now.
And all three parachutes
Free falling.
kick the dust. It's a very soft landing.
Tom Petty works his way into this story.
Perception.
Look out.
Look at that.
That hurt. Can we just keep them in the capsule?
That was like the video last night with the car.
Now listen to them screaming.
Do I have to?
Yeah, really. Do we have to?
Not exactly what you'd call, space pioneers.
Yeah.
As they're screaming for their lives, it sounds like. But that wasn't it, because if you remember, then of course Jeff Bezos had to run over, and he had to be the first one there. Cut number 8. Check it out as Jeff Bezos eats it as he comes around the capsule himself. Cut number 8. Check this out. Here he comes, and whoopsie. There he goes, down for the count.
Down goes Frazier.
I guess all the juice couldn't keep him up.
Yes, exactly. So there, but I think the one thing that caught a lot of people's attention was cut number 6, and
There's
this came out
to this story
because when you're because this capsule's supposed to be pressurized, right?
Oh,
so you can only open it from the outside. That's why they have to come over, and he had a special tool to open this door. But if you watch this, cut number 6, you'll see that door opens before he gets there. Check this out.
What's going to come out of her mouth, but really her heart?
And is that Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see.
That
This
is
is a TV. This is a
So
TV
here goes
thing.
Jeff Bezos to open the hatch.
Oh, here
Now
he
it's up
is.
to him to open the hatch.
Amazing.
I believe he's got an Allen wrench for anybody out there sophisticated.
Oh, God. Aaron.
So there you have it.
Close the door and send it back up.
We have a bomb here. Thank you, God.
Can you return that package, Bezos?
Yeah, return that
Back
to
to
Amazon.
Mars.
Can we put some MS-13 people in that thing and send it off?
I don't know if we want to do that.
Maybe.
So there you have it. As of course, that seems to be. It just doesn't seem to die, and more people are bashing the ladies of the Blue Origins pop group.
I mean, again, it was a glorified roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I mean, what now? Gayle King wants to be referred to as an astronaut when she gets introduced
Right.
on CBS in the morning. What?
Meanwhile, according to the definition, they are not astronauts. They weren't even classified as a crew, because a crew is used to do work. There was no mission involved. They didn't do anything.
There's definitely no mission.
It was basically a glorified,
Roller coaster ride.
glorified bouncy house with a bunch of screaming kids on it.
Oh, God. All right, live from Studio 6B, more news with Paul Nolan, Vinnie Mac, coming up right after this.
I got from a few people.
I can't even imagine.
Like some
For what?
friend,
Did
some
Damon,
friends of mine.
Did Damon know about that?
Some friends of mine. They're like,
Did you
oh
see
my,
that video?
They're like,
he
oh
did
my
last
God.
night? The video with the lady falling out to the car.
Oh my God.
He got destroyed on that.
Did you see that, Dave?
Oh my God. I told him you gotta warn.
So what did I
You gotta
miss?
warn the audience.
What did I miss?
You missed a Russian woman falling out of a building.
Because a soccer player got pushed out of a window.
So you
in China.
you watched the homicide on?
No, it wasn't. She lived.
Oh, she
the only
lived.
reason.
Oh,
The only
no big
reason.
deal then.
The only reason I played it was
She broke
because
every
she
bone in
lived.
her body, but she did live. She did survive.
She survived.
Yes.
She was cleaning a window and she fell out. And
you
this
played
camera,
that?
I guess, a camera
What
on
is
the
this,
building.
Faces of Death? What are you?
It caught it, but
Rick
after
decided
she
this was
lands,
newsworthy.
She gets up. She's like trying to get up. So I'm like, oh, she's fine and she's good. What's the problem? I guess that was the problem.
I think you should just drop this, Rick.
I think it comes down to know your audience.
I think the problem is you said it's a woman who falls and survives, and they're expecting to see it from a distance, and all of a sudden it was just boom. It was like dropping a watermelon right in front of your face.
I got to see what's in.
It was more. It was more close up than Bezos buying it. It was right there, full frame.
It was
Oh,
bang.
boy.
And I'm like, don't you think you should? I probably should have said that.
We all
don't you
just
think you should have
were
warned the
horrified.
audience? I said.
That guy with a super chat.
Oh, that guy with a super chat. Hold on.
That guy. We
Those
love
Rocky
that guy.
Patels, man, they are. Do you smoke one of those yet?
That guy, $5. Hey, boys, happy Pizza Friday. Paulie, how did you like the Freedom Stick? Have an amazing Easter. God is great. I know you were just talking
Freedom
about them,
sticks
right?
were fantastic.
Did you have one, Paul?
Oh, yeah, I've had two.
Really?
I went back to back. No, I didn't go
man,
back.
nice.
Back-to-back days.
Beautiful. That guy is the man. Nice gifts.
Yeah, he's awesome. I can't believe
awesome. I mean,
everything
with that
he
guy,
says to us.
with that guy, no
Oh,
pun
my
intended.
goodness.
That guy, right? What he did, that was beautiful. I mean, the gifts were just incredible
All right,
and
Paul.
so on point.
Paul, I sent it to you.
All right, good.
I don't know if you're going to appreciate that or not. You might.
She lived.
Delgado can't wait to use his.
But she lived, so I don't have to feel like I'm watching something horrifying.
No, it's not horrifying at all. It's just surprising.
No, not at all.
Because she's 80. She was cleaning a window.
Would you believe that? Talk about stopping short. Wow.
You played this, you psycho?
She lived.
She lived.
I know, but
Yeah, she got.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, America First Warehouse. Glad you're in. Slick's been doing sports. Delgado's been doing news. Paul Nolan's going to do some news as well. Vinnie Mac is here. Vinnie Mac, what else has been on your mind in the news today?
Yeah, there's a big one. We haven't talked much about this, but birthright citizenship.
Yes, Supreme Court decided they're going to hear this case today.
They are going in front of the Supreme Court, and you're hearing all the controversy around it. And I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the 14th Amendment to, have some intelligence around this and understand what's going on. And I don't see what the big deal is. One of the worst things in our history of our country was slavery. Slavery ended, and these slaves were having children, and they created an amendment so they were American citizens. That's pretty logical, right? That's a pretty simple thing. What that the government did at that point in time. They did a really bad thing. They freed the slaves, and they decided, well, we need to have a mechanism for them to become citizens and their children to become citizens. Birthright citizenship for the slaves that they took across, from Africa on ships into, the United States and Europe and South America, by the way. So this is pretty simple stuff. And I feel like here we go again. Here we go with a hardcore left-wing Supreme Court, some of them. We have the majority, but do we really? I mean, if some of the rulings that we've seen, 5-4 on some of the most obvious things, here is going to become an issue that's going to become larger than life about birthright citizenship and being anti-immigrant. And it's preposterous to think that if you go into a country and you're pregnant, say we went to France or Italy or Germany or Japan, you name it, and you have a child there because you're pregnant, that child's a citizen of that country now? It's preposterous. It's insane. It's literally insane. The Trump team has done a good thing here. They've basically said, look, one of the parents needs to be a citizen of the United States. And if the child, a child is born here and one of the parents are a citizen, okay, that child is then a citizen of the country. But I feel like what we're leading up to is another one of these lunacy, this crazy battles with the left and with the left judges on this entire immigration issue, which has nothing to do with, literally zero. Birthright citizenship has zero to do with immigrants. Nothing. So I wanted to talk about that here on the show. Get your guys' feedback on this.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a lot of stuff on this back when this first debate got heated, I guess 2 months ago. We never really got into it. But I think the thing is, when you look, there's nowhere in the, if you go back and look at kind of like the legislative debate surrounding adoption of this, there was no legal or illegal was ever a consideration, around it. Nor was the idea of, like you say, conferring citizenship to children of foreign nationals, and it's really just a misread of the language about the jurisdiction thereof. And I think what you say is pretty accurate when you look at it. The idea that you can just come in here and all of a sudden this is conferred upon you, like some magic potion.
You're just on our territory.
Right,
you have a baby,
is crazy.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen here?
I think the Supreme Court's is going to rule. Well, now my understanding of this case is not. They're not directly tackling. I don't think they're directly tackling the idea of what we're talking about here. I heard this today. I was kind of half paying attention. I don't think the case they're taking is going to necessarily directly deal with this issue as far as like saying yes or no. I think it's more of it's like they're looking at some different part of it. It's not directly going. They're not directly going to make some ruling on.
Well, it's the executive order. Trump put forth an executive order.
Yeah.
It's gone to the Supreme Court now, and they're going to decide.
But I think it's going under a different guise.
Yeah.
I have to look at it, but I don't think it's directly going to deal with that. Like, we're not going to get a black or white yes or who's right, who's wrong.
Right.
My understanding is.
If I could pose this question, it's something I was thinking about. Obviously, the Democrats pulled all these migrants in to turn them into the D voters. At this point right now, while Trump has control and they have the Senate, right, all these things are in our favor right now. Would it not make some form of sense? He did the gold card. Would it make some form of incentivized sense to any hardworking, good citizen non-citizen who's been here, productive, works every day, and maybe fast track them in with, you have to come to a English-speaking class, learn civics of the Constitution, learn American tradition, and you're a registered Republican, and we'll incentivize you and start fast-tracking them as registered Republicans, because half of them won't change their voting status to Democrats. So I was just wondering, at some point, you incentivize them, you keep them in the workforce, because let's be honest, everyone needs the labor, and it doesn't make sense.
If they came here illegally, though,
if
you want to fast track them in?
Yeah, fast track them in with, if maybe it takes a year, you have to pass, constitutional test, you have to pass an English test to a degree. You don't have to.
I get that. My view of that would be as follows.
Could that work?
There's a line of people.
That would be a hard no on that.
Yeah, me too.
There's a line of people that are trying to get into this country. Legally, the right way.
And there's too much of that, by the way. That needs to get cut down, too.
There needs to be boundaries around that a little more. But here's this group of people, and there's lots of them. And I know many that have been waiting years to get into this country. People that just want to be hardworking people and be in America, right? So they haven't been able to. Then all these people get let in illegally, and then all of a sudden we just whoosh, try and give them a path, to become citizens. I don't see that as anything I'd be in favor of, because if I would say I'd be in favor of a lot of things once we dealt with everybody that's online and did it the right way. Like, we've penalized people in line who are doing it the right way. Right. There are people trying to get into this country for a couple of years that are so frustrated because of this influx of what happened, and they're years behind. They got green cards, they got visas expiring, all these hardcore things. And then when the narrative goes to, we should just, make them citizens or do these things, I get where you're going with it, because it's a way to solve the problem, but you got a bigger problem behind it.
To me, it's a way to get the Democrats to stop allowing it. If they're all wearing an R tag, they're going to want them out faster than we do.
They'll be happy to deport them at that point.
But I was thinking also, my argument against it would be, with AI on its way, there's going to be a lack of jobs. As much as manufacturing will come back to the States through all of Trump's moves, there's still going to be an issue with AI, and a lot of people are going to lose work as that technology grows. So I'd like to know why you're a hard no, because I'm just curious.
Again, you can't reward the cheaters. You can't reward them.
Yeah,
because as soon as you do that, then you're talking about the people that are in line trying to do it the right way. They've invested their money, their time, their effort, their lives, basically, because they wanted to do something here and do it the right way. You see it all the time when these people graduate and they get their citizenship, whatever it's called, graduate, or they get citizenized. They are so proud. And it turns out most of them know more about our country than we do, because they've been in there studying, doing what they had to do, learning, trying to fit in. And I just can't see letting a bunch of illegals, I don't care where they're from, get a free ride.
They know the preamble.
I'm just seeing 5 million more votes for the Republican Party. That's what I'm getting out of it.
Well, that's if you can guarantee it. You can't guarantee anything.
I think the other thing to remember is one of the integral parts of the U.S. constitutional framework that we live under is a consent-based governance, meaning like us, the people, we, the people, the idea that we're going to confer like unilaterally citizenship without the consent of the people just flies in the face of everything that the country is based on. You know what I mean? Like we, the people.
The whole system's been hijacked.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened here. And we allowed it to be hijacked. And now you've got people who really want to come here under their process, and you got people who you're rewarding, to Rick's point, for breaking the law. I mean, that's really what this all comes down to. If you're average voter who voted for Trump, that's what they're annoyed with. You broke the law and you're getting rewarded for it. We gave you Social Security. We've given you Medicare.
Well, I'm not giving them that.
Educate. Well, they have been.
Yeah,
I know.
So we've been giving them all these things, and you cheated and you did it wrong. That's what we're mad about.
Now, are you talking about illegals or politicians?
I'm talking.
Because you could kind of interchange those two words when you think about it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's true.
They cheat, they steal, they lie, and none of them get let away in handcuffs.
They're at a whole other level.
Going on?
Yeah,
whole other level.
3 tiers of justice.
Yeah. Anything else, Vin?
Yeah, the other side of Trump's run here right now, the last 90 days, inflation. It's at 2.4%.
Boy, his what you're seeing from him and Jerome Powell is really interesting the way it's going to play out.
That's where I was going.
Because the word is that he's looking for some way to try to get rid of Powell. Now, obviously, I guess he could just fire him and deal with the firestorm of whether he can fire him or not. Jerome Powell says he doesn't legally think he can. He thinks this thing is safe. I don't see how that can possibly be true, as he is a function of the executive branch. And it would seem to me that the executive branch, if he wants to fire him, could fire him. But that is something that's brewing, and it'll be interesting to see when it comes. It will come to a head, because I don't think Powell has any inclination to even think about cutting rates.
No, he's weaponized. He's going to weaponize rates.
Because when you say weaponize rates, what?
Well, look at it like when Trump was in the last time. He didn't get one rate cut in 4 years. Right, but Biden got a bunch of rate cuts.
We were effectively at zero when Trump was in. I mean, Trump was asking for rate cuts effectively when we were at zero, before inflation really started to fire up. And I can remember arguing at the time,
we should have had.
Why is he demanding rates were effectively at zero? We need to get off of zero.
Yeah, he wanted negative rates at that point. Remember, it was that stretch. But,
and I don't see anything in the data that says that we need to be that Powell really needs to be cutting rates significantly right now.
Well,
look at the price of oil. Look at the price. I mean, there's no doubt that deflation is happening.
Yeah, we don't want free money. But we also do know if they do cheapen the money, like we saw, like it'll really kill China. So there is and China's constantly playing with their rates, and they're devaluing their own currency in an effort to strengthen the value of the import. So it's a nonstop game. But I don't think Powell's ever going to play on the side of Trump.
I mean, the problem and the issue with everything, on all of this, taxes too, if we don't deal with these cutting on the spending side, none of the other stuff will ever make sense or work or look good for the Republicans if we don't deal with spending. If they never deal with spending, I mean, does anyone even think during the day about Congress anymore?
No.
Does anyone think about Congress right now?
No.
Besides the fact that they're on another 2-week vacation, I think, right now?
Yeah. Well,
but who goes? I mean, is Jim Jordan even still around?
Yeah, he's in El Salvador.
I mean, what have they done?
Drinking margaritas.
What are they doing? What are we looking for and saying, oh, in the next umpteen weeks, whatever it is, looking out, oh, we're going to get this done. They can't even get reconciliation done. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's the system's broken down so poorly right now between the House and the Senate and any of that stuff. And you want to break it down even further? If Jerome Powell or the Fed is supposed to be independent, I would like the Fed to go along with the president's policies, like to support that, but they're supposed to be independent. So I'm kind of in between this right now. Should Trump fire him, or is there still independence? I'd like to see interest rates go down. One more tick, personally.
Me too. I think 6 is the sweet spot.
This guy's going to go down as Paul Volcker, not Arthur Burns. I can tell you that. All right, live from Studio 6B. More on a Friday right after this.
Super chat time.
Super chat time. Super chat YouTube. Child of the King. Thank you very much, young lady. 4574. Airdropping and cash from my favorite place on the internet. Still on the road. Love you all. Thank you, Child of the
Where's
King.
she traveling to? Did she say?
She did not say. Maybe she'll tell us in the chat.
Maybe she'll be up here in New York.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to meeting some folks.
Yeah, me too.
We see in the chat face to face.
Me too.
Coming here and saying hello.
Big D's throwing an after party and everything.
Big D's got an after party with,
right here.
I believe, puppets and
but no cigars. No cigars.
No, keep your feet on the ground. What's the after party like here? What are you planning?
Some knitting and some.
We're gonna knit. We're gonna knit another New York Jet crochet for Aaron.
On the way to the local bingo parlor.
Crochet bingo, yeah.
By the way, Aaron loves our blanket. That was who gave us that? Leslie Beebe. She's in one of the chats. I forget which one. I want to say Truth Social. Or I'm not sure what she.
Well, folks on Facebook are loving the studio here. They like the setup and everything. I mean, the feedback's just been great.
Yep.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it grows on you after a while.
No, it's cool. I like the way, sitting in the round here. When fill us up with some people and a
I
band.
think it'll be fun.
Hair, makeup, everything. What happened here, Slick? Someone said, "Oh, got the sexy wink. Love you, Slick Rick."
My usual parting.
What happened?
He's got to give him the sexy wink.
Who is this?
They're happy. They're happy. We got turned around. They
What's
were
the
not
sexy
happy
wink?
with that. My sexy wink.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
You want some of that?
Oh, man.
Vin, you want some of that?
Please, sir. May I have some more?
Yeah.
Vin, if he does it again, your shoes are coming off, and there's going to be trouble. If he gets your shoes off, you're in trouble.
Speaking of shoes, Big D, those new shoes.
Oh my God.
They're nice. I like them.
We can't see your toes.
If it does it again, let's put some Barbra Streisand on, and we'll
slow dance.
Nice boat shoes.
You want a slow jam?
Something a little mellow.
Hey, every rocker has its soft side.
KDJ's at the Tom Jones. I'm sure he's getting a nice slow jam right now, right?
Oh, Tom Jones.
All right, Paul, kick us off here, and then.
You got it.
What is this? This is 7?
This is the end.
This is the end.
This is 8.
Oh, this is 8.
We're done.
Wow.
Oh.
Do you guys want to do an extra hour?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Paulie, kick us off, and then Slick take us home.
Coffee.
Yeah, we're going to. Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night at the America First Warehouse, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio, Long Island. If you're listening on 103.9 LI News, man, this is backyard stuff right here.
Oh, yeah.
At the America First Warehouse. We look forward to seeing you on May 2nd. Joe, are tickets actually for sale right now?
Not yet.
Okay, tickets are not for sale. If you want, if you're interested in tickets for the opening night,
2 weeks
blowout party, send me an email, lfs6b@yahoo.com. Maybe I'll give some tickets away on the show as well.
Very nice.
But especially if you're listening to 103.9 LI News, send me an email and tell me that you're here on Long Island. We'll make sure we get you tickets in here to the America First Warehouse for May 2nd. It's going to be quite the party. So
live TV.
You do not want to miss that. And then
Leave
every
room
Friday
for Harry's nurses.
Yeah, and then of course every Friday going forward after that. So
don't forget the candy striper.
I think there's going to be a little bathtub set up and the sponges available for Harry.
Before I forget, I want to wish everybody obviously a happy Easter and have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, spending it with family. I'll be going to Connecticut on Sunday to spend Easter with my sister and her husband, my nephew, my parents, and of course us here. Slick, what are you going to be doing?
We're going to go out to dinner with the family. Nice, beautiful brunch at Giorgio's out east. That'll be very nice. So
nice.
We're gonna do that.
Delgado?
Not sure yet, actually. Got a couple things out there. I'm not sure if I want to.
No, you're out there, right?
I'm not sure I want to make the trip to Jersey.
Do they make those Mars chocolate eggs? You're giving those out, right?
Vinnie Mac, what are you going to do?
You know, my mom is 87, and she's been alone for a couple of years. My dad passed away 3-4 years ago, so on Easter and really every special occasion, we try to get the whole family if we can, and go there, and we bring the food now. She used to slave over the stove and make it for everybody. So, yeah, real family event. Easter's always been in our household, old school Italian household.
Yep.
Yeah.
A great day, special day.
Yep.
It's a special day no matter what.
Of course. All right, very good. And Paul, what are you doing?
Well, we're going to do the same thing. Old school Italian mama. She's, not cooking anymore. But my brother's took on all her recipes. He's a fantastic cook.
You're lucky.
And he's making a homemade manigot for us. And we're doing, and they make the crepes from scratch. And we're gonna do lamb. But my church is gonna have. My church is very it just keeps growing, and they're going to have 7 services. So they're asking the regulars to go on Saturday night if they could, or early Sunday or late Sunday, because there's going to be a lot of newcomers. So Saturday night we're going to do church, and then Sunday morning we're going to, a bunch of friends and family, going to do a brunch thing together, maybe a mimosa or 2, and then off to mom's, like you said, around 2 o'clock. So
very good.
Have a nice
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
All right, Paulie, what else is
Or 5.
what else is on your news radar here tonight?
Okay, well, this be warned. Anti-Trumpers are planning a massive nationwide protest against Trump as part of actions from the 50-50-01, I guess it's 50501 movement over the weekend. The 50501 movement is not a jeans commercial.
Oh.
It works under the phrase 50 protests, 50 states, one movement, a bowel movement, and describes itself as a group fighting to uphold the Constitution and end executive overreach. The organization's next.
Just a bunch of turds on parade.
Yeah, it is. Turds on parade. It falls on Saturday, April 19th, the day before Easter. And their spokesman said, we're trying to protect democracy against the rise of authoritarianism under the Trump administration. Meanwhile, these Marxists have just been loving the boot they sniff and lick, and here they are. They're going to save democracy. Thank goodness we have them looking out for us. So anyway, the bowel movement claims that they have over 3 million people mobilized this weekend. So hopefully, people
have they said anything, this group, about the leftist Marxist terrorists who tried to burn down the governor's of Pennsylvania's home while he's in? Oh, because I think he was a Palestinian. Oh, that's right. That story's gone.
Sympathizer.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Right, just like that.
Will they be bringing Antifa and Black Lives Matter and the rest of their cohorts to the event?
Yeah, and they will be celebrating Garcia. The alleged wife beater, the alleged MS-13 member, the alleged citizen. So I'm glad they have something to rally around, these wackadoodles.
He's a Palestinian. He loves let's kill that story.
Fantastic. That's what I got. So if you guys wanted to.
All right, very good. Paul Nolan, let's do some more news. Let's do some more sports with Slick Rick. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell, LFS 6B. Slickster, what else is going on?
Okay, one game in the books in the NBA playing in the East. It looks like the Miami Heat now are moving on. They defeated the Hawks just a minute ago. Final in OT, 123-114. So Miami's moving into the playoffs. And the Mavs and Grizzlies just underway. Grizzlies are up 15-10 with 7 to go there in the first. Tomorrow, the NHL playoffs kick off as well. We have at 6 p.m. Many think the team that may actually have a shot at winning the cup here is the Winnipeg Jets, the best team of the season.
I'd love to see them win.
Yep, I would too. Finally give them a win, right?
Yeah.
Taking on the St. Louis Blues, best of 7 series. That's the West first round. Again, 6 p.m. puck drop there. And the Avalanche taking on the Dallas Stars, who also had a great season. And that's the West first round, best of 7. And that will also start at 8:30 tomorrow night. And get a couple of quick baseball scores too. Oh, Mets and Cardinals. The Mets have come back, Paul. They tied it at 4 in the middle of the 9th. Good one there. Braves 6-4 over the Twins. Bottom of the 8th. Bottom 7. Dodgers over the Rangers. 1-0 there. Brewers blanking the A's. 2-0. Bottom 5. Bottom 6. Astros 5-2 over the Padres. No score. Giants and Angels. End of 1 inning there. And again, in a wild one, the Cubs came back where after a big lead, they gave up 10 runs in the 8th. 13-11. They beat the Diamondbacks. Guardians over the Pirates. 10-7. Tigers down the Royals. 7-3. The Reds went final. They beat the Orioles in Baltimore, 8-3 there. Phillies over the Marlins, 7-2. Yankees won 1-0 tonight. Pitchers duel over Tampa, down in Tampa. Good win there. And the Blue Jays defeated the Mariners 3-1. UFL action tonight as well. I call it the Unidentified Football League, gentlemen. The Panthers over the Showboats, 14-9, 12:22 to go there in the third. I read a story like this, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Shannon Sharp expected to sign $100 $100 million deal. This is from the Spun Cameron Duncan by way of Yardbarker. Shannon Sharpe earned induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame after a long and distinguished career on the field. Sharpe won Super Bowls, set records, and made All-Pro teams while establishing a legacy as one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Sharpe reached the pantheon of greatness in professional football, and he's been successful as a sports broadcaster. That media career has taken Sharpe beyond the realm of sports, and he's set to clear another incredible milestone with his next media deal. According to Front Office Sports, Sharpe is expected to sign a new deal worth over $100 million. Sharpe's current deal with Colin Cowherd's Volume Network is up, and he would be taking the Club Shay Shay and Nightcap audience with him on the new deal. Any revenue Sharpe would earn from his deal is also separate from what he earns as a panelist on ESPN's First Take. So big money for Shannon Sharpe there, Big D. Unbelievable. So what a deal, huh? $100 million? That's a lot of wood, no?
Good work if you can get it.
It's good work you can get it. Well, we can't
I don't
get
think
it.
he's worth $100. But
I don't either. I don't think he's that good of a altogether.
He's not that sharp.
I don't know if you saw that Steve Kern donning that Harvard shirt in response to Trump's federal funding reads. Stand up to the bully, that weasel.
He's got to be the most hapless loser.
I mean,
God, with this guy.
Look where
it's
Golden
like-
State.
Look where he is.
Useless.
It's like Keith Olbermann had a
that
baby.
dump.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I mean, please.
the lip central.
Oh my God, that guy is such a hapless, useless, just fart. Oh.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, he continues to go against Trump. One of his buddies is the coach at Hofstra, and Harvard.
Whining
little
weasel nuisance. God.
Yeah. We wish his team well in the NBA playoffs.
We don't. We hope they lose every game they play. If you didn't have people like Curry,
if you didn't have Curry, you'd have nothing.
You know, him and
the
Olbermann
guy's
should have
nothing.
a podcast together, so they get 3 people to watch.
They should also just shut up. That's what I say. Just shut up. I want to watch the sports. I don't want to hear this guy pontificate on anything other than the NBA or basketball.
We don't care about your politics. You're all performing. Your Bears on a bicycle
Right.
now performing.
The Weasel National Basketball Association.
As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, all emergency personnel. Thanks to everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Martin, Joe, everybody at the American First Warehouse, Harry on the highway.
Hooray!
We'll see you on Monday. Happy Easter, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday, live from Studio 6B.